Lieutenant General Andy Busch completed 3 assignments at DLA spanning nearly 2 decades. As the DLA director, he will best be remembered for reaffirming the agency's commitment to the nuclear enterprise, reorienting DLA to better align support for the combatant commands, championing a culture of continuous process improvement, and an enduring commitment to the resiliency and well-being of DLA's people and culture. Mr. Brad Bunn, DLA's Vice Director, will tell us a little about why he thinks General Busch is deserving of this honor.
I guess I would say that General Busch has had an enormous impact in 3 different decades. So in each of his tenures here, he's made a big impact on at the lower level, the policy and mission growth that we experienced in the 90s. In the 2007 to 2009 timeframe that he was here, he really faced a huge challenge to implement a pretty significant portion of the base realignment and closure requirements that we got from Congress, where DLA assumed mission from the services, and a lot of that was in the aviation mission area, where we were bringing on people, new mission areas that we hadn't done before in terms of supply, storage, and distribution at the air logistics centers, the fleet readiness centers, and the aviation depots. He had to balance a huge number of priorities and considerations and deal with everything from people to process to the business side and ultimately to the mission to support the warfighter. When he came back as the director in 2014, we were coming out of a period of a lot of turbulence with the employees, the workforce facing furloughs in the 2013-2014 timeframe. So he inherited a lot of challenges, but he was the epitome of what we typically get with DLA directors, which is the right leader at the right time. And when he came in, he brought a calm and composed leadership to the agency. He reset our strategic plan using a very collaborative process across the agency, bringing in the senior leaders from the field activities from across the headquarters, and frankly from other stakeholder organizations to refresh and overhaul the strategic plan that hadn't really been looked at in several years. But under his leadership, he brought what we call people and culture now, which is something that's familiar to most of us. That was under his leadership that we actually established that term, highlighted it in the strategic plan, balancing what we do for our people along with the organizational culture that we provide them as an integral part to our overall mission and what we do as an organization. He also was the champion and really the sponsor for the establishment of the DLA Sexual Assault Prevention and Response Program that we formalized back in the 2016 timeframe. General Busch, I want to personally congratulate you for your induction into the DLA Hall of Fame. It's our very small way of saying thank you for the impact you've had on this agency. It's thousands of employees that are still with us, as well as those thousands of employees that you had an impact on over your many decades of service. So congratulations.
Hi, I'm Andy Busch, and I'm coming to you from Fruit Heights, Utah. And I want to start off by thanking Admiral Skubik and the entire DLA leadership team for including me in this year's DLA Hall of Fame class. And I really regret that travel restrictions are preventing us from getting together. I remember from my tours in DLA that being able to come to the headquarters complex and visiting with people that had since retired and have left DLA was always really a highlight of the year. And so I regret that we're missing that this year, but I certainly understand the reasons why we're doing that. I was fortunate as a uniform member to have 3 tours in DLA, and I tell people that ask me about the Defense Logistics Agency why that's so important. And the answer is always that DLA made me much more capable and well-rounded as a logistics professional. And And quite frankly, until you spend time in DLA, if you are going to tell yourself or tell people that you're a professional logistician, you really need to go to DLA to understand the capabilities of our great nation, and many of those reside in the Defense Logistics Agency. So it's impossible to thank everyone for all the great things that I was able to be part of when I was at DLA, but there are a few names that I wanted to highlight. First, I wanted to say thank you publicly and publicly again to the vice director that I served with when I was fortunate enough to be the director, and that's Ted Case. Ted was a consummate professional, always had the best interests of the agency in mind, and always focused on giving me the unvarnished truth whenever there was a tough problem. And the next person I wanted to talk about was Command Sergeant Major Charles Tobin. Sergeant Major Tobin really reinvigorated the role of the Command Senior Enlisted Leader at DLA. And I think it's a position that's vitally important to the agency. It provides a fresh perspective in the executive team, and I can't say enough for Command Sergeant Major Charles Tobin. And then when I think about DLA, I think about one other name quite often, and that is of Chrissy Davis. So Chrissy was an employee of ours that worked in Anniston, Alabama, and she was serving in Afghanistan, and she lost her life in a mortar attack. And I think about her quite a lot because she really represents the best of what DLA is. Someone that was willing to go into harm's way to do the things that in normal times we consider very routine, yet this was work that was very important and we had to do over in Afghanistan. And so I think of Chrissy quite often when I think about my time in DLA as the director. So let me close by just saying thank you again. Thanks to Admiral Skubik, to the DLA leadership team, to the 20,000+ people that I had the great opportunity to work with 3 times that I was in the Defense Logistics Agency. And I'll tell you that DLA is a great organization, and I was very, very fortunate to have had the opportunities that I had to work with all of you. I wish you the best. You do great work, and we need you to continue to doing great work in the future. Thank you.